Hello and welcome to the 5.0 Engineering Sniper Guide. This is my first video in 5.0 DPS. My previous guides are all 4.7 or slightly beforehand. This is irrelevant though because all of the same it's exactly the same rotation now. There are only a couple of new abilities added to some of the classes. So if you're watching the previous videos, please bear in mind everything you see there is still exactly the same as it's going to be in 5.0. So, number one, I'm going to start off with the new utility points that are available for Sniper. So, going down the list, we have the following. Ballistic dampeners. Entering cover grants 3 charges of ballistic dampeners. Each charge absorbs 30% of damage dealt by the incoming attack. The effect cannot occur more than once every 1.5 seconds. Ballistic dampeners can only be gained once every 6 seconds. This is good to use because in certain situations anything that can absorb damage is obviously going to be worth having. This is something I'd recommend to have on all the time. Moving on to the next one. Vital regulators. Now there are two things here. A couple of different specs will have different utility points here, but I'll go over that in a minute. Vital regulators. While in cover you heal for 2% of your total health every 3 seconds. Moving on to snapshot. Entering cover makes your next snipe or lethal shot activate instantly. The effect can occur once more every 6 seconds. For engineering, this isn't really used often. It can be used, but it's not really worth taking that much because you're mainly going to be sitting down, not having to worry about moving around so much. The idea with this is you can stand up, move forward, sit down, instant snipe, but snipe is not as used in this particular spec as the other two specs. If you want to see that be used more often, refer to my virulence or marksman guides. Next one is Imperial Efficiency, increases damage dealt by suppressive fire by 25%. Only use this when you know the fight contains a lot of adds. A good example of this would be on Bestia, to help out doing AoE farming on the adds, but Engineering already has a lot of added AoE damage anyway, so it's not really worth taking. Right, Imperial Demarcation reduces the cooldown of leg shot by 3 seconds. More of a PvP utility, it's not really as useful for PvE, but bear that in mind. Calculated Pursuit. This is good because it means that once you exit cover, you have the means of using lethal shot or snipe whilst moving. Now it's very useful when you know you need to move a lot. Good example of this is Eternity Vault on Garge, the second boss, when you're moving around. Moving down to Masterful. Seek cover. When Trench ends or you leave cover while Entrench is active, you gain Seek cover, which increases your movement speed by 50% and grants units movement impairing effects for the last 6 seconds. Not too bad yet again if you need to move and you want to have make sure that you're not going to get snagged down again. It's useful to have in certain boss fights. Re-establish range. Countermeasures purges all movement impairing effects. When you activate, grants re-established range. Increase your movement speed by 75% for 6 seconds. Additionally, the final shot of a series of shots penetrating blast knocks back the target if they are within 10 meters. Works on some targets. Now, the thing about this that's worth taking is because of the fact that you can have the huge movement speed increase. If you need to move very fast, it's worth taking. Crippling Diversion. Diversion slows all types 50% for as long as they remain in the area. It's okay, it depends, however, it's more of a PvP thing. Shatter Shot reduces the movement speed of the target by 50% for 10 seconds. In addition, Flashbang ends leaves behind flash powder that reduces the target accuracy by 20% for 8 seconds. More of a PvP thing yet again. Stroke of Genius. Activating cover pulse makes the next snipe or lethal shot activate instantly and increases your chance to resist force and tech attacks by 20%. This increases your survivability, so it's well worth taking. And then we have Evacuate, reduces the cooldown of maim and Flashbang by 15 seconds. Not bad if you need to put stuns on certain adds and whatnot, however, not entirely useful for all the time. In Heroic, there's a lot of survivability options here, so we have Pillbox Sniper, reduces the cooldown of Entrench by 15 seconds, and Cover Pulse knocks targets back an additional 5 meters. But the extra knockback is nice if you are, say, you're doing Temple of Sacrifice and you're designated to doing the knockbacks on blades. This is good to have the additional 5 meters, it's always good to take. Obviously for Entrench, that's a huge one, and when it's coupled up with Siege Bunker, reduces all of effect damage taken by 60% while Entrench is active. This is huge. This means you barely have to move out of stuff when you've got this available. Series of Snares. Each shot of series of shots penetrating blast slows the target 20% for 3 seconds. The effect stacks up 4 times. More of a PvP thing, not that useful on boss fights. Debilitating Shots. Increase the duration of any effects applied by Shatter Shot by 5 seconds. In addition, when leg shots immobilizes, the effect wears off. The target's movement is slowed by 75% for 3 seconds. PvP ability. augmented shields increases the amount of damage absorbed by shield pro 30%. This is huge. This shield pro has a very short cooldown. This will keep your survivability up through the roof. Hold your ground. Reduces cooldown of shield probe and cover pulse by 5 seconds and escape by 30 seconds. In addition, when you exit cover, you gain cover screen. That increases your range defense by 20% for 6 seconds. Another good ability to take. However, when you compare up the other three, it's one of the lesser useful ones, considering that's already a very fast cooldown. Legendary. Flashbang and maim grant execution, allowing your next takedown within 10 seconds to be used regardless of the target's remaining health and deal 15% more damage. Now, this is very, very good if you want to deal more damage and lean less towards the survivability option here. Tactical retreat. Covered escape heals you for 10% of your maximum health. Additionally, duration of evasion is increased by 2 seconds. Not bad for survivability, but it's not a huge amount of your health restored, so bear that in mind. Control chaos. For every target initially affected beyond the first, diversion grants a charge of controlled chaos, increasing arm penetration by 10% per charge. This is useful, but I wouldn't really worry too much about taking this, to be honest. This is what I would consider the most beneficial. Reduces all damage taken while in cover by 5% and reduces the cooldown ballistic shield by 30 seconds. Getting a shield back as quickly as possible is basically the sniper's raid buff. The shield produces, it means that you get 20% reduction in damage to anyone within the shield, and to get that back more often is going to benefit the whole group and not just yourself. Defensive safeguards. When ballistic shield is activated, you gain a charge of defensive safeguards. For each enemy inside your ballistic shield, up to 4. This effect lasts 20 seconds. Each charge increases your damage reduction by 5. In addition, 5%. While inside your ballistic shield, you heal for 3% of your maximum health every second your enemy has been called or knocked back. Equally, it's useful. However, up in heroic, it's more useful to take those 3 for survivability. Over prepared. Reduces the cooldown of Imperial Preparation by 45 seconds and increases your damage reduction by 15% for 15 seconds after activating Imperial Preparation. It's good for survivability. When you use Imperial Preparation, you get Entrench back instantly, so it's very worth having. However, I prefer using the shield method. Okay, so coming out of that, so going through abilities quick. So abilities, what we have for this is going through it quickly. Now I'm in a seated position right now in cover. So you have rifle shot. Your basic attack consumes no energy at all. So I'll use that for an example. Snipe, it's your casted ability, does a decent amount of damage. If this tool will actually do it. Okay. Then you got penetrating blast. Sorry, series of shots. The series of shots is going to be a cast jet again, and it's what it says, series of shots. It's got a long cast time. It's good for energy preservation as it builds up. So, series of shots. Now, coming on to your hard hitter, explosive probe. The explosive probe will detonate on the target for a large amount of damage. Especially, this will deal more damage if it is buffed, but we'll get to the buff in a second here. It will also deal some elemental damage and fire damage over 3 seconds. So it's a short damage over time as well as a decent amount of burst from it. Moving on from that, we have a few of the dots that you apply. Plasma probe. So plasma probe, this will lay on the floor and it will stay there for a certain amount of time, and it will deal damage to up to 8 targets within the probe. And this is something that you can place either exactly where something's standing, or you can be preemptive with this and place it wherever you want. Moving on from that, we have here interrogation probe. Someone's interrogation probe clings to the target, will deal damage over time. What will happen is though, from using interrogation probe, it procs EMP discharge. So it will do a decent chunk of damage. However, it will stun the enemy as well. But you must have your interrogation probe on in order to use this. Corrosive dart. This applies the debuff that will actually increase range damage taken. So this needs to be used mainly often in the rotation, but we'll get to that in a while. Fragmentation grenade. You do not use this unless it's been procced from using EMP. Once you've used EMP, this will proc up, cost you less energy, and it will do a decent chunk of damage. Okay, then we have takedown. This only applies when the target is sub 30 health, unless you have the utility point. If you're doing it so that you're using this and it is sub 30 health, it would replace corrosive dart because it does more. So it would replace corrosive dart anyway, so you would use this. However, moving on from that, we have a basic distraction, which is going to be to interrupt. A covered escape, which is for you to roll away, and it will also give you a 100% chance to dodge. But remember, you need to be very, very quick on the timing for this. Target acquired. It will increase tech accuracy by 30%, arm penetration by 15% for 10 seconds. This is especially good to use on the filler. So if you're going to use your higher filler, this is what you want to be using. Laze target grants 100% crit to explosive probe. So you get 2 charges of that, so remember that you want to use it at the right time so that you can use it for its most beneficial amount. Just your basics adrenal. Flashbang, you're going to stun the enemy, but if it does get hit, unfortunately it will break it, so it's a bit hit and miss. Diversion is your main cooldown. Increase your chance to dodge melee and range attack by 200% for 3 seconds. It's not long, but it will save your life. There's your ballistic shield. Put the shield up. Anyone inside it, 20% less damage for 20 seconds. Shield probe is the one that you will use on yourself. This is a huge amount of damage absorbed, especially with the utility. Very good, very survivable. Suppressive fire, your box down AoE attack. Cover pulse, your knockback, and also remember with the utility point it will grant an instant snipe and the 20% damage reduction. Orbital strike is your large AoE, long cast time, but it does a fair amount of damage and it is using the rotation. And adrenaline probe. Adrenaline probe is used to restore 50 energy over 3 seconds. So this is, you want to be using this when it's 40-50 or 50 to 60%. If you use it when you're sort of 70-80, you've wasted it. You need to use it at the right moment. Countermeasures will purge any it will purge any movement impairing effects if you have the utility. However, it is just your basic aggro done. And Imperial Preparation, it will end the cooldown on evasion, countermeasures, shield probe, cover pulse, entrench, and cover escape. Then you have escape, which is your CC break, which means you break the stance that you get. So, now that all of that has been covered, we'll move on to the rotation. Now, I will begin slowly on the opener, and then I will show you the main sustained rotation after that, and then there will be a more sped up version, where it'll be the normal rotation, and I'll be doing that for a couple of rotations worth just to give you an idea. The engineering rotation is, it's complex, but it's less complex than virulence is. So if you're new to this and you're watching this and you're experiencing it all for the first time, be very, very slow. Always try to walk before you can run. Okay? So the opener would be as follows. It's laze target, orbital, then you're going to put snipe on, explosive, series of shots, plasma probe, interrogation probe, EMP, drops up the frag grenade, series of shots, plasma probe, corrosive dart. Now you could use cover escape if you wish to, but it's not really necessary. Explosive probe, and then back to series of shots. That is the box standard opener. Now, once everything's come off cooldown, I will move on to doing the sustained DPS rotation. This is minus the opener. Now, the opener, you will have a little bit of time to wait for the explosive probe, but you can fill up the gap with either rifle shot or a snipe. Snipe, I would suggest to use it when energy is permitting instead of your basic attack. Okay, but we're going to move on now to the sustained DPS. Okay, so here we go, and it's going to be slow. Okay, so as I have everything on cooldown, I'll be using it as it's off cooldown, but if they're on cooldown, just remember that it will be not the first part of the rotation, but the next time you have it back. So, for example, if you have it available, laze target, explosive probe, target acquired, series of shots, plasma probe, interrogation probe, EMP, frag grenade, series of shots, probe goes down again, corrosive dart, orbital, basic filler, explosive, series of shots, and then you just rinse and repeat from there, reapplying the probes. Okay, so that's it, slowly broken down. For anybody that's watching this, both either in guild or guilds, I will have a video on the appropriate websites in the general discussion or ops chat areas, where this will all be broken down in a text description, word by word, play by play. Main thing is to practice. What you want to do with this is you just want to focus on taking your time, taking it slow, and just go with it. If I'm around, you just message me and I will happily sit down with you and talk you through it. I have no problem just sitting there for a while and going through it. Even if you are watching this video and you are not a member of either Too Old for This, Sith, Horizon Covenant, Last Battalion, any other guild that I'm in, just put a comment on YouTube and just simply say, would you mind helping me out? I play on the Red Eclipse EU server, so just let me know what you need and I will come and help you out. It's not a problem. Thank you very much for watching and take care.